Welcome to our podcast series on African scientists at the University of Bern. I am Dr. Djouroukoro Diallo, coordinator of Initiative Afrique and associate researcher at the Center for the Study of Language and Society. Our guest today is
Dr. Pooja Singh. I'm an evolutionary biologist at the Institute of Ecology and Evolution here at the University of Bern.
Thank you very much, Pooja, and welcome. So, how are you?
I'm doing good. It's hot outside, but otherwise, very good.
Okay. So, you also like the hot weather in Bern?
It's better than the winter, yes.
Okay, better than in the winter. Very nice. Thank you. So, who is Pooja?
Right, like I said, I am a scientist. I guess that's probably the biggest part of my identity. I'm a biologist, specifically an evolutionary biologist. And I come from Botswana, which is my home country. And I've been living and working in Switzerland for the last 4 years. So yeah, I guess that's who I am. I'm a scientist and an African scientist, and I'm really excited to be here on your podcast today.
Okay, thank you very much. We really appreciate that you are here with us and sharing some of your valuable time with us. Thank you for your contribution today. So, you are from Botswana, you say? You are a biologist?
Mm-hmm.
So, can you tell us a little bit how has been your way, your itinerary from Botswana to Bern, and from being a biologist to someone, a scientist who's working at the University of Bern?
Yes, of course. So, like I said, growing up in Botswana, being surrounded by this amazing nature and wilderness is really what inspired me to become a biologist. And we spent a lot of time in the bush looking at plants, birds, animals with my father. And that really inspired this whole fascination with biology, to try and understand how all of this works. And as I went through primary and high school, I discovered the study of DNA and genetics, which is what led me to want to study molecular biology at university. But at that time, which was quite a long time ago, so this was the end of 2005, there was no molecular biology degree offered at the University of Botswana. So that's what led me to apply for this program at the University of Cape Town in South Africa. That was the nearest place I could go to study. And so I applied and I got in, and I ended up in, I think, one of the coolest places in Southern Africa, which is Cape Town. And as you may know, the Cape region is a very special ecosystem. There's a high level of endemism, so there are many species that are very unique that are found there that are not found anywhere else in the world. So I think it was the perfect place for me to kickstart my career as a scientist at the University of Cape Town. From there, I did my bachelor's. My bachelor's was thankfully funded by my family. But what I really wanted to do was to be able to fund my own education. And so I applied for a scholarship and got accepted into a master's program at the University of Pretoria, also in South Africa. And there, I think I really evolved into matured into a scientist. I think the research program there and my professor there was he was very important to shape who I am as a scientist. So I'm very thankful for the environment at the University of Pretoria. And then from there, I applied for a PhD program. to study African cichlid fishes, so from the amazing East African Great Lakes in Tanzania, Zambia, and Kenya. And I moved to Austria through this funded scholarship. And that funding was really critical for me to go from being an African budding scientist to really stepping into like global science. So I think that scholarship was really instrumental for me. And from there, I finished my PhD and then moved to Canada to do a postdoc. And obviously at the postdoc level, you're already paid, so you don't have to look for scholarships. These are funded positions. And then from there, after 2.5 years in Canada, I was offered a position here in Bern, so I moved here. So it's been really amazing to be in Switzerland, and particularly at this university, which has a great environment for doing research. It's a very supportive environment. So I've really been able to establish my independence as well, to some extent, as a scientist here. Yeah.
Wow.
That's a lot.
Yeah, but this is impressive. Yeah. Just fantastic. Yeah, I can see from Botswana to South Africa, Cape Town, Pretoria, and then Tanzania,
yeah,
and Australia, and later Canada,
yeah,
and now Bern.
Yeah, exactly.
But still African.
Yes.
So, what does it mean for you in this case, in such a situation, to be an African scientist?
Yeah.
What is your role?
I feel very strongly about representing Africa. I really want, when people see me and when people see the African students that I train, I really want them to be to see that we are here, we're doing amazing science, we are as smart, as capable of everyone around, because I feel like Africa and us Africans have been underestimated for so long by the global community. So it's just amazing to be here and have a seat at the table and be collaborating with amazing scientists all over the world. So I think that representation is really important to me.
Not only African, but you're also women.
Yeah, exactly.
So what does it mean for you then to be an African and a woman in science?
Yeah, it means a lot, because there are not that many African women in science, not even in Africa. So, as you know, and there are even few African women in science in Europe, as you know. I mean, you probably know a handful. And so I think it means a lot. And what I really try to do in my projects and in my collaborative research is to empower African women in science as well. So, for example, I recently organized a workshop in Botswana where I aimed for at least 50% representation of scientists who identify as women or non-binary. I have recently initiated a collaboration with an amazing Ethiopian scientist who's a woman. So I think establishing these networks and sort of helping each other rise together in science and be cool scientists who are contributing not just to African research or science, but to global science efforts. I think that's really important to me. And trying to achieve that and working with others to achieve that is really a core part of who I am. Yeah.
So, what do you think could Initiative Afrique do in such a situation? Do you have any idea, some suggestions?
Oh, yes. I mean, so much of it actually comes down to, as you know, Djouro, money, right? It's all about funding. And what I would love to see is more scholarships and funds being available for African, like early career scientists, so not even at the PhD level, but who want to do their masters here, to be able to come here and do that research, right? And for the scientists that are already here, so those of us who are PhD students or postdoc students, it would be amazing if Initiative Africa could help us navigate the European academic environment, right? And the Swiss academic environment. Many of us come here, especially those of us who come straight from Africa, as opposed to having been to other European countries first, it's very hard to know what the rungs of the ladder is that we should be climbing, what grants we should be aiming for. So I think if Initiative Africa could help, empower scientists to know how to navigate the system, it would be really great. A third thing that I also think is, I think we were talking about this before the podcast, was that so many of us come here and we're temporary, we come on short-term contracts, so it's very hard to meaningfully build something, right? So even becoming a meaningful part of Initiative Africa or other such initiatives at the university, because we're so busy trying to focus on what to do after our short-term contract runs out. So I know this is a really not an easy thing to push for, but I think what we really need to create are longer term and potentially permanent positions for African scientific leaders at the university. Because you know as well as I do, there are literally a handful of them, right? You probably know more than I do, but I know less than a handful. So yeah. But yeah, all of these things really have to do with structural changes, information, knowledge sharing, and just helping people navigate a Swiss academic environment. Yeah.
So before we start the interview, we were also talking about your work and that you had for short a grant. Can you tell us what is about this project?
Yeah. So I had recently had my first big research project funded by the Swiss National Fund, which is, as you know, the official science research organization for Switzerland. So it's really amazing to get funding for 4 years to be able to expand my research on an endangered group of fishes in Lake Tana in Ethiopia. So this has been a project I've been building quite independently of my supervisor here. So it'll be nice to bring my ideas and, see them come to fruition. And also within the scope of this grant, I'll be able to train at least 2 Ethiopian or African PhD students. And I really look forward to sharing my skills, which are still skills in genetics and genomics are still not as common in many African countries. So I'm really excited to train them in these skills so that they can take basically leadership of conserving their own biodiversity, right? I think we've waited in Africa for so long for people from the global north to come in and study our systems. And I think the time is ripe for us to capacity build within Africa so that we can take really control of our scientific landscape, right? So I'm really excited to train the students and also to build strong relationships with 2 professors there in Ethiopia. And I'm really excited about that because one of them identifies as a woman. So yeah, there are lots of independence and exciting scientific questions that I'll be able to tackle with this grant. So I'm really excited. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much. Just for the sake of precision, I would like to say that the grant is in the context of a program called Spirit.
Yes, yeah. Exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very important, actually.
So thank you. This is just fantastic. So you are setting up new project, new partnerships, meaning that you are going to foster very strongly the partnership between Bern and partners from Africa.
Yes.
It means that you are part of specific networks already, of in the academia, or which one?
Yeah, so actually the way I met one of my research partners in Ethiopia, Professor Nagusi, is through the African Biogenome Project, which is an African-led initiative by Africans. So the aim of this, it's a massive Africa-wide network. I honestly have not seen anything of that sort in the last decade, where the person who started the Africa Biogenome Project, thank God, Ebenezer, he's currently based in Cambridge, but he's African, and he's built this network of scientists from different African countries to sequence the genome, so the DNA of African species on the African continent. So it's like we take ownership of our diversity. We don't wait for someone to sequence, do the research on our species. So it's a very empowering and amazing initiative, and that's one that I'm part of. And I'm actually sequencing a tree species from Botswana, which is the Mopane tree. Some people might know it. As well as one of the fishes from Lake Tana that we'll be sequencing. So I think if you're someone who does genetics and genomics research and you're listening to this podcast, Google Africa Biogenome Project and be a part of it, because it's amazing.
What would you say to close this interview?
I'm really looking forward to hopefully playing a bigger role in not just Initiative Africa, but in promoting equitable research between Africa and the University of Bern. So I think it's a really exciting time, because I think the university is at a place where it understands the importance of it. And I hope to spend more time better understanding and collaborating with Initiative Africa and seeing where this goes. So yeah.
Thank you very much for your time and for all that you are doing, and we just wish you good luck for your future project.
Thank you so much. It was lovely to talk to you.
Yeah, thank you, Pooja.
Yeah.